For your project, we will be using a paper template of a specific form. So we will be creating nonahedrons, which means it's a 9-sided figure, by drawing a single symbol on almost every single face, except for the center, and you'll transform that symbol to represent one element or one principle. Depending on the quarter, you may work on this project independently or with a partner, with you splitting the elements and principles. And your elements are line, color, shape, value, form, texture, space, and type. Your principles are balance, emphasis, movement, proportion, pattern, contrast, alignment, and unity. You will have a theme that's a certain kind of symbol, and that will go in all the faces. Now remember, you're going to have 2 of these papers, one for the elements and the second one for the principles. Your first step is to pick your symbol, which it could be an animal, object, logo, really whatever you would like. And then step number 2 is to create a tracer of that symbol to help you on this project. So each of you will get a small 2x2 square of paper. You draw it on, and then you'll be cutting it out. And then the really easy part is that you can take your symbol and simply begin tracing it onto all of the faces. Be sure to be mindful of how you're rotating the faces so that it can all be folded together properly. Step number 4 is to decorate your nonahedron using color pencils and Sharpies with high quality craftsmanship. Remember, you'll be transforming each symbol. So to show you my example, let's start with line. I did a variety of lines inside the symbol and on the outside of the symbol. You can even think of Zentangle or radiating lines. You're trying to show a large variety or multiple different kinds of lines. For color, I tried to think of the color wheel, but you may also do a color scheme like warm versus cool, analogous, or complementary. For value, I did a gradient, which goes from light to dark. So I have a color inside the symbol and then black and white on the outside. You can do that vice versa. For texture, I tried to think of both man-made or natural textures. So the symbol itself is a texture of wood. Then I have bricks in the background, and then I even have grass overlapping. For form, I tried to make this look as 3-dimensional as possible by adding shading to the one side. And you can see I have other forms around it, such as spheres. In space, I have both positive and negative space shown, along with atmospheric space, going from large to small and getting lighter in the blue shade. For type, I created my symbol and I put the letters of that symbol inside. So this is the gear heart, so I put Gearhart to spell it out. Remember, this is not your name, it's whatever your symbol is. So if you did, say, in a heart, you would put the letters Heart inside for heart. And then you want to somehow decorate the background, whether it's a value scale, whether it's putting more words in the background, you totally decide. And then lastly, for shape, I tried to transform my gear heart with a variety of shapes. So I broke it down into simple shapes such as rectangles, squares, and circles. For the principles, on alignment, I did the rule of thirds, and I also distorted my symbol across the rule of thirds. For pattern, I tried to create a wallpaper sort of design. Balance, I chose my type of symmetry. Mine is symmetrical, same on the both sides, but depending on your symbol, it might be asymmetrical or radial. For movement, I tried to draw my symbol in movement by having these overlapping and moving in the space. You can show movement with color. You can also show movement with lines. For contrast, I was trying to show the stark difference between values. So I have a strong contrast between warm colors on the outside, cool colors on the inside. You can also simply do black and white. Emphasis, I tried to accent one single symbol outside of the entire pattern here. The easiest way to show emphasis is through color or size. My example shows the difference in color. Proportion, I tried to distort my symbol by making one side very large and one side very small. It is all about a comparison of size. Lastly, for unity, this is about trying to make things have a sense of oneness or wholeness. So what I did is I have my symbol up in the corner and I actually have this radial sort of design or pattern. When you work with unity, the best idea is to try to do a circular design because the circle is the universal symbol of unity and harmony. In the center box on both of your projects, you will label it either elements of art or principles of design, but I would also like you to either split this in half and have your name somewhere or have your name visible on somehow this box. The pictures I'm currently showing are student examples transforming elements and principles with a symbol. You can use these samples to help inspire you. You can see how the symbols of shapes like stars, circles, or triangles, food, maybe like donuts or cupcakes, or objects like a basketball or a diamond, logos like an Adidas or Nike sign, has been transformed to show the specific element of art or principle of design. Step number 5 is to cut out your template. So taking your finished template, you will just take your scissors and cut around it very neatly. Now when you're cutting everything out, it's important to be very precise so that this will fold up the proper way. So we go around all the tabs. Notice how I'm rotating my paper. That can help you whenever you're cutting. Now at this point, you would want to take a picture of your cut out, completed, colored nonahedron with the wood background from the table behind it so that in the future we can delete that background using a special website. Step number 6 is to submit a picture of your nonahedron completed with all your coloring to our Schoology assignment. So make sure that you have your picture in your camera reel. So I'm going to my camera now, and you can see that I have a high quality image of my nonahedron cut out with the wood grain behind it. Then we would simply go into the Schoology app or Schoology website so you can submit your picture. Go into the course. Now, most often the submission icon will be in the green folder. So you'll need to go into the green folder and find it. Or most of the time you'll see it on this sidebar. So you can just click on that and then click the submissions and then locate your image on your photo reel to submit the assignment. All cut out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold up every single one of these straight lines. So anywhere that you see a straight line, you're going to fold and crease. So I have all my folds done. So now I'm going to take my glue stick and put a little bit of glue on each of these tabs. Now that I have all my glue on my tabs, I can start my construction. So I like to start around this center. So you're just going to fold in these pieces here, make sure to crease. So you start on the very big faces of this project. So step number 8 is to construct your nonahedron. Make sure there's definitely enough glue on it to hold it down. Now I got all the big pieces, so now I start with all these small pieces. Go from the inside to just push this to attach it to the big ones. Now these last two are very hard to get into, so what I like to do is actually just take a bit of tape and you can make a donut with it, and then it's easier to kind of tuck this underneath. And there you have your project all sculpted together for a nonahedron. The last optional step is to take a piece of string, tuck it inside, that way you can actually hang this. Questions? Ask your teacher for some help. Have fun, everyone!